2 days ago, I got my booster shot at 10:30 in the morning, and I want to share my experience about this. So before the whole booster shot, I was experiencing a headache the night before and early morning of my booster shot. I wasn't really sure if I should have gone to the pharmacy to get the shot because of the headache, because from my prior experience from my second dose, like it was not a very pleasant experience for about 4 days. By the time I got my shot, my headache was mostly gone, so I decided to just get it anyways. Throughout the entire day, I was feeling fine. Around 6 p.m., that's when my headache slowly started to creep in. And then around 8 p.m., that's when I decided to go to sleep. And this is where everything starts going downhill. I woke up in the middle of the night feeling chills, and it was strange because I was completely covered in my blanket with pretty much any openings. Because of that, my body was also burning up. So I was getting chills and I was burning up at the same time. A little bit about myself. I'm pretty much resilient to the cold. The shot really gave me such a debuff to my cold stat that I was really feeling the cold from the chills. And at the same time, I was burning up like crazy from all the heat I was enclosed in. It's a very strange feeling, and it was not a pleasant feeling at all. I was like, I got this. It should only be around 3 or 4 a.m. It should only be a few hours before the sun rises. It took a lot of willpower to get my phone to check the time. And to my surprise, it was only 12:30 a.m. At this point, my head was pulsating like crazy. I was able to hear the pulsation in my ear. Moving my head, like even just by this much, made the pulsating so much worse. I was also very, very thirsty. Like I really wanted to drink some water. And mentally, like I was fine. Like I was able to think and all that. But physically, it was extremely hard to move. My thirst for water just gotten so bad that I just had to go get some water to drink. When I got back into bed though, because of the amount of movement I did with my head from standing up to lying down, you can really feel the pulsating. And that whole event from waking up was a span of 1 hour. And it was really uncomfortable to go back to sleep. But eventually, I managed to find the willpower to go back to sleep. And then I woke up again at 3 a.m., which is pretty much 2 hours later. And I was sweating. I was sweating like crazy because of how hot it was. And at the same time, the chills was more constant. So I was cold and hot at the same time. I didn't know what to do. Like if I put on the blanket, it was still cold and it was hot. Like my body was extremely hot. If I took off the blanket, then I was pretty much cold nonstop. So I didn't know what to do. But other than that, there was nothing much to share because it was pretty much that for like 30 minutes before I eventually managed to go back to sleep. I managed to wake up again around 8 a.m. I'm pretty sure it was 8 a.m. And my headache was not as bad. It was still there, but it wasn't as bad. But my back was hurting like crazy. I think it's because I've been lying on my back for such a long time. And, I think my body was tensed because of all the headache I was experiencing. So what willpower I did have, which was way more than hours ago, I sat in, the lotus position and pretty much placed my head on my bed. I think only flexible people can be able to do that easily and comfortably. And I stayed in that position sleeping till maybe around 1 p.m. At that time, I finally managed to just wake up and go to my desk, and then I managed to watch a few YouTube videos until I went back into bed because I felt like going back into bed was the right option to do some resting, like clean up the headache. And then I was only half asleep for maybe about 6 or 7 hours. And my God, it was extremely boring because I was awake, but also like, I guess mentally asleep. I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean by half asleep. After all of that, my headache was mostly gone. I wouldn't feel it just sitting still or even just moving a little bit, at least slowly. Oh yeah, and during the time I was that 7 hours, I was not experiencing any chills, which was good. And I managed to go back onto my desk and played some games till like maybe 10 p.m. So only about a few, like not even a few hours. And I went back to sleep, and then I woke up around 4 a.m. today, and here I am just recording this video talking about my experience. And as of right now, my headache is still there. Like I can still feel it if I do this. It was like a sharp pain. I'm sure by the end of the day, my headache will pretty much be gone. And that's all I wanted to share about my booster shot side effect experience.